Hey guys, this is my 2005 Honda Element, and I'm going to show you as quickly as I can how my sink setup works. When it's in like the fully deployed kind of situation where I'm using it every day, it is always down. So since I don't have a lot of passengers or people in and out, I just leave it down because then I can sit up in the morning, brush my teeth, wash my face. But the first thing to do to get access at this is to just release this. It's not going to go forward like it normally would because my dogs, well, this is my kitchen stuff, but all this is in the way. So it just releases here so that I can open, because it actually sits back on it just a little bit. So we just open it like this. Now, I made a huge mistake 2 years ago and I didn't winterize in time. So I just ran around all day today trying to get my faucet back in service because these suckers are not cheap. I think initially I paid about 60 bucks for this, but now they're like 100. So I did a couple of things and I can explain better as well. This is just called a side tap. It's a much smaller tap that's usually on the side of a larger kitchen tap. Usually it's a drinking water tap, something like that. But all I did was just drill a hole down through the cubby part of the door handle here, and you'll see in a minute how it goes. This is a cutting board. This is a salad bowl. This is just some plumbing stuff. The only downside to using a salad bowl is that it's not inlaid like a normal sink would be. So you can see there's some water that ends up in there. Usually I just it's hard to do with one hand, but I usually just shake the bowl back and forth and all the water goes in. I would like to do something about that because you can kind of see how the water is just kind of sitting there. Maybe just some silicone to kind of I don't know, I haven't gotten to that. It hasn't been an issue yet. The little wiggle thing is good for me. Since this does drain outside, I always make sure that all my soaps are safe. So that one's safe, biodegradable. And Fast Orange, this stuff is great for getting oil off your hands. It's also biodegradable. Then a little finger scrubby there, and then some kind of quick drying towel. This is an old Eno pack towel type of deal, travel pack towel. And I'll usually just throw that in there, wipe out the bowl real quick and throw it back in there. But I used to have this siliconed, and someone sat back in the seat without knowing. This is why I don't have passengers, but someone sat back in it, and I see how I had it siliconed and it broke the silicone, but no big deal really, since it stays down all of the time. And it actually makes it so that I can take the bowl out, which I can show you guys what that's like. So I just unhooked it. Usually when I put the sink up, it'll drain out as I'm putting the sink up. So this can go like this, and I usually do put it like that just in case it did ever leak. It would go down the door, natural water path. Wouldn't have any intrusion on the car that way. So this is one of those command things that I just screwed in. It holds it like that. You can see that it's kind of wide. It does stick out, but I leave it down when I'm in the car. And then I've got a drain plug and a drain screen. This hose, it's actually from the hospital. It's called a suction tube. And it just goes on like that. And I honestly, guys, I don't have a parts list for you because I had to custom make all this stuff. This is one piece here. I had to cut it and add this plug. And this white piece is one piece that was way bigger that I had to cut and find something to seal against this. And it's like a hobbled together thing, but it has lasted a really long time. The water source is a 1 gallon sprayer, and I pretty much tried to use everything that was already that it came with. So this hose here, it has a smaller clear hose that goes to the bottom, and that's what actually sucks up the water. I did add a filter, so there's a little carbon filter down there. Probably kind of hard to see, but it's that black thing right in the middle. That's just a little carbon filter. I don't drink this water, but I do fill it up with drinking water, and I use the carbon filter just because I'm brushing my teeth, I'm washing my face. I've been using this for so long, I don't have any, any issues with it. But then again, I'm not drinking it. When I undid that, the pressure that was built up in there, that's what allows it to actually like work as a normal sink. So this is just a sprayer, and you just pump it up. It holds 1 gallon of water, and then you put it back. It's held up with a rope, and it's sitting in an old collapsible trash can. Eventually you can hear it. That's because there's water in the seal. Yeah, see, so you have to just tighten it a little bit more. I try not to get water on the seal when I'm filling it up for that reason, because the air will always find a way out. But I've got an Element carabiner here, and just some rope kind of holding it up. It's all like a tension-based system, so it really doesn't move too much. And then everything comes in here. I did have to sacrifice a speaker, but not too big of a deal. And then when you look inside here, I used a Dremel to cut away the plastic, and I added, so this threaded part coming down is the tap, and like it's like directly above. I added some washers so that this bolt that or nut that holds it down, I was having a lot of issues getting the hardware tight because I couldn't get a wrench in here, so I put the washers to make it easily accessible. And then this is a brass fitting, it's a nipple, so the hose goes on there, and then I tighten the clamp down, and that holds the pressure really fine. Oh, my friend just got home. So yeah, when you use the water, it drains through the door, and there's already a hole there, and then it goes here, and then it goes under the car, and it just basically drips from the sidebar, just because of how gravity works. But that's my whole setup for my sink.